Welcome everybody in for the post-game reaction on this Denver Bronco Roundup podcast. Man, we had it. It was almost there. We could have put it away. We could have been 2-0. We're going to get your reactions. Let's jump in this. I'm on the road. The Broncos are on the road. Hopefully mine goes a little bit better than theirs. Welcome in, everybody. It's the Denver Bronco Roundup podcast. Of course, we're going post-game like we always do, right after the game. In a game that, man, seemed like it was within our grasp. As you can tell, I'm on the road, nothing to show in the background. That also meant I was listening in where a lot of these other guys were watching. I'm going to rely on them until I can watch all the film for the most part. And I'm going to start just saying hello all the way around the horn. I start with my good friend, Mr. Trevor Salzman. How's it going, Trevor?
Doing well, Keith. It's a Sunday. It's, again, football day for everybody in the NFL. Unfortunately, Broncos took the loss today, but I do feel better about this team going forward despite the loss today.
Sorry about that. I hit my mute on my mic, so I wanted to make sure I was ready to go. Yeah, maybe some things look better, but unfortunately it wasn't the win column that looked better. Looked better last week as far as that was concerned. Jody, it's always a win when we get to see you on a Sunday. How are you doing, my friend?
This just goes along with the rest of my weekend. Our holder, who shouldn't even be on Notre Dame's team, drops a snap for an extra point. Cost us the game. A BS call there at the end. I don't think that was a penalty. And it didn't even need to happen. He didn't even come close to making the kick. I don't know what the Colts were thinking, trying to just settle for a 60-yarder like that. But I hate when the refs put it in their hands like that.
Yeah, I didn't get to see it. I was listening to the Colts call. Of course, they were ecstatic whenever I get to see my good friend Kenny Kirkpatrick as well. Thanks, Kenny, for jumping in here. Know that you were trying to watch the end of that Chiefs-Eagles game. Of course, with the Eagles being a competitor of yours in the NFC East, I can understand.
Well, let's keep our fingers crossed that the AFC champs go down to 0-2. But I'm going to have field goal kickers in my nightmares tonight, guys. I'm going to see them in my dreams. A Giant fan is, 64-yarder. So, Jody, I can see them going for 60 indoors. And why is a leverage penalty 15 yards? It should be a 5-yard penalty. 15 yards, you're taking the game away from you. I don't know. I'm just annoyed that it's a 15-yard penalty and not just a 5-yard and a redo at the kick. You're just handing the game to the Colts on a leverage penalty. And Will Lutz, he'll bounce back. Okay, it happens. The best of kickers miss easy field goals, and he missed an easy one. He'll bounce back. So I got all the confidence in the world in the Broncos bouncing back next week and the rest of the season.
Sounds like silver lining. The Chiefs take a loss, so Chiefs are 0-2. It looks like at this point. At least that's what the POSSE is reporting, including Roger, just saying they just went 0-2. Game over. Trevor, I was kind of surprised. You came in here. You had a little bit of confidence in what you kind of saw out there on the field. And like we said, we would like to get the win, but the things that you saw that you liked.
First and foremost, for me, Keith, it was the offense. Just being able to the run and pass balance today was a much better from a play call standpoint from Sean Payton. He really called himself out last week and said, I need to be better. Mentioned it multiple times on the broadcast, on the CBS broadcast. Bo Nix, 30 pass attempts today and 24 carries for this team today as well. So this is a much more balanced attack that this team had today from an offensive standpoint. So I just really thought that, for the most part, I thought Bo Nix took care of the football, other than in the end when that costly turnover happened. Again, you can't turn the football over there, but I thought he was a little bit more under control of himself today, and it wasn't kind of everywhere. The run game was better. J.K. Dobbins, 14 carries, 76 yards, and a touchdown. That's much better than we've seen last week and much better than we've seen even last year. So you take silver linings when you took them. Also, Troy Franklin, how about a coming out party for Mr. Troy Franklin, 8 receptions, a touchdown for 89 yards. I mean, we talk about this defense all we want, and I know we'll get into it plenty today, but the offense, I mean, just what we wanted to see, Keith. I know we talked about it Friday, needed to see this offense step up, and they certainly exceeded my expectations stepping up today and doing their part, and at least the best they could to try to get a Broncos victory today. Keith, you muted, Keith.
Double the amount of points that I actually expected to put him up. I had a 13-14 Denver Broncos win. Ends up being 28-29, almost doubled all up across the board. That's the unfortunate part, man. 28 points from this Denver Broncos offense. Did have some shaky moments, as Trevor mentioned, maybe a late turnover that could have really helped us seal it away. But, Jody, let's talk about this defense. I know that you watched it today, and you were not happy with what you saw from Vance Joseph and the way that they maybe game planned against this Indianapolis Colts team.
No, it goes right back to what we've seen in the Buffalo game last year in the playoffs. They can't stop the run up the middle, and, they're missing two of their best, probably their best 2 run guys in Dre Greenlaw and Malcolm Roach, and it's apparent there. And they need Greenlaw back. They need Roach back. I know he's a couple weeks away at least, but they got to get those guys back. It's imperative. And Riley Moss has got to – he's got to step up his game. He was getting torched today. And I've been disappointed with Jahdae Barron. He has done nothing for being a first-round pick, in my opinion, so far. I expected a lot more from him. And the way things are going right now, you might see Riley Moss be the odd man out because Jaquan McMillan is playing a lot, and whatever they decide with Jahdae Barron moving forward, it might be Riley Moss odd man out.
Decisions might be made in the future, and obviously it could be sooner rather than later, just depending upon how the season goes, and we could see some changes mid-season even. This is a stacked room. We've got some stacked rooms, including this room. Kenny, I've talked a little bit of offense with Trevor. I talked a little of the defense with Jody. I don't know where you want to go. I guess you could talk special teams if you want, but you can just talk whatever you want to talk about.
I'll just add to the defense. If we're going to be hard on Sean Payton's offense last week, we got to be extremely hard on what we say and is the number 1 defense in this league. Okay, you cannot let Jonathan Taylor run for 165 yards. What's going to happen when you play a run-first team next week in the Chargers? You're going to have the same thing happen. What's going to happen? And Daniel Jones, 316 yards passing. Hats off to him. I thought the Broncos were going to destroy him today. He came out. What's going to happen when you play better quarterbacks? Vance Joseph better sit down. This is on Vance Joseph this week. We can't blame the offense this week, guys. We got to blame one unit, in my opinion, and it's the defense today. They got outplayed, and they were not nearly the number 1 defense in this league this week against the Colts. So Vance Joseph, back to the drawing board. It's only 1 game. Back to the drawing board. Be back to that top defense we know you can be next week, but bad performance on the defense today. It's on them.
All right, Miss Pearl coming in saying hello. Good to see you, Pearl, coming in over on YouTube. Appreciate you so much. Graham coming in and saying Surtain being hurt is a huge blow. He was not the same out there today after he got hurt. And that was a gasping moment, as I think it was for everybody when PS2 goes down. And, we didn't have to bring out the cart, but he certainly needed to be helped off the field. It'll be interesting to see exactly the health of him and him going forward. Going to be imperative if we really want this to be a top 5 defense. Trevor, we thought this was a top 10, top 5 defense after week 1. They certainly took their licks today, man. They may not be in that top 5 conversation, at least as of week 2.
Yeah, I mean, we already knew going into this game what the Colts were going to try to do. They're going to try to ground and pound, and that's exactly what they did with Jonathan Taylor today. I mean, anytime you get the run game going on offense, and it really wears down your defense, throughout the game. And Denver's ability to not be able to stop elite running backs has been an issue. That's why I wanted them to address the defensive line in the draft this past offseason, because we've seen this formula before. We've seen Jonathan Taylor go off against the same defensive line before. We've seen James Cook go off against the same Broncos defensive line. They've done literally nothing to improve this defensive line this past offseason. When you're going up against elite running backs, you've got to be able to stop them and take them out of the game. I said it. You need to put the ball in Daniel Jones's hand and make Daniel Jones beat you, not Jonathan Taylor. Daniel Jones, all due respect, I think he's in a good situation with the Colts. Let's keep in mind they've got playmakers now. Tyler Warren, now they got Jonathan Taylor there as well to help out Daniel Jones. I mean, that team's got playmakers. Josh Jones, you got Michael Pittman Jr., you name it. They've got playmakers on that team. But first foremost, it starts with stopping Jonathan Taylor. You knew the Colts were going to go in this direction. I think personnel-wise, I think the Broncos not having that big nose tackle up front to stop a guy like Jonathan Taylor really goes to show today just how Jonathan Taylor was just able to affect the game on the ground today overall.
Jody, I'm going to make you talk nice because I just gave Trevor the opportunity to talk about this defense. You talked defense to begin with. I'm going to make you talk about the offense, man. How'd you feel about the offense, Bo Nix, this run game in general across this game? Maybe a little bit more on par with what we were hoping to see.
I think the run-pass ratio was a little bit better. It still is leaning a little too much pass, in my opinion. They've got to figure out some plays when they're running the football to not give it away. There were plays that you could watch, and I was calling it out before they even snapped the ball. This is what they're going to run, and you could see it. But I thought Bo Nix looked good. I thought Troy Franklin looked good. But the offense is still not there for me. They've got to figure out a way to get Evan Ingram more involved. And you got to get Cortland Sutton involved. He can't go, what do you have, one catch this whole game? That can't happen. You got to figure out a way to get Bo, to let Bo throw over the middle. This is 2 games now that I have yet to see one deep in-cutting pass like we've seen multiple times last year. They've got to find a way. No deep shots again. So it's a work in progress, but it's coming around. And if they can keep building on this, I don't think the D is going to be this bad. You're going to get some players back in Roach, and it sounds like Greenlaw should be ready to go, if not next week, the following week. So those are key pieces. So just keep plugging away. This doesn't make or break the season. So even the Chiefs, they're 0-2. They're not out of it. It's early in the season. Handle what you can handle, and we'll be back.
We'll be back. It's only week 2. It's okay. Kenny, like I said, this is just a post-game reaction show. It's obviously it's a devastating loss when it comes down to the wire, even especially when you think you might even had it won. Had to go back and look at the final call that Jody was not too happy about. That gave him an extra 15 yards and the opportunity to kick it in for a zeros on the clock win, 28-29. I want to get your thoughts on this game, wrap it on up, and how do you go forward as a team from this? What do you take from a game like this? Is there value in a game like this? I guess that's the best way to put it.
There is value. There's a lot of learning lessons. You don't take any team for granted. And, the Broncos, got maybe out-coached today. I'm going to say that out loud on both sides of the ball. Cortland Sutton, as Jody alluded to, 1 catch. But you know what? Your other guy you brought in to be the Joker, 1 catch. Those 2 guys, your top 2 receivers, 2 catches for 18 yards. Sean Payton, if that's not bad enough, your second-round draft pick, R.J. Harvey, who had an electric run last week of 50 yards, you only hand the ball off to him 5 times, 8 yards. You gave up on him. 14 rushes for J.K. Dobbins. Jody, I get you think the pass-run ratio is a little better? I don't at all. I think this is still on Sean Payton. Needs to fix this offense a little more and look in the mirror and see what the Colts did. Run the ball with your running backs and keep your defense off the field, because he was getting, with the runs and passing and getting the short drives, your defense is back on the field and winded. So this isn't all on Vance Joseph. This is definitely on Sean Payton as well. You put this game in the back seat. You're on the road. Got a big one next week. Your rival Chargers, who are playing tomorrow night. We're going to see what happens there, but it'd be like a 75-25, 70-30 game. There'll be a lot of Bronco fans there, and go win a big game on the road. It's going to be one of the bigger games of the week in week 3 for both teams next week. And you don't want to fall 1-2 heading into the gauntlet of your schedule. So big one next week. And Sean Payton, fix things up.
Fix things up. Again, I just listening in. There was certainly a lot of times I heard when they were going up to the line of scrimmage with not a whole lot of time on the clock, and that's something we talked about as well that needs to get better. So speaking of Sean Payton needing to get better, I'll just add that as well. Trevor, same to you, man. Wrap up this game. What do you take from it, and how do you move forward?
I mean, this is a playoff matchup. This is how I feel about it. I mean, I think the Colts are very much so a playoff caliber kind of team. And I think this is exactly what you want if you're Sean Payton and the Broncos to be able to put up this kind of performance. It's not like this was an easy game for the Colts by any means. This offense, I think, at the very least, are taking strides in the right direction compared for what they did last week. Absolutely, I think this offense is taking strides in the right direction, which is what you want to see. They're not going to have their A game week 2. I don't expect that, but I think this is certainly steps in the right direction. Defensively, yes, you had some woes. Again, it just comes up to personnel up front. You've got to be able to stop the run game. And to win playoff games, you're going to go up against really good, if not elite running backs. You're going to have to find a way to stop those guys and take those guys out of the game. Unfortunately, today, I think the writing was kind of on the wall even before the Colts kicked that field goal, Keith. And posse members and fellas, I mean, it was what it was. 165 yards on the ground. You think you're going to be able to win that football game? Likely not. I don't think the odds are necessarily in your favor. So just that writing was on the wall right there as soon as you seen that, and just Jonathan Taylor just able to get 5-6 yards with ease. And just kind of the defense just kind of got lazy. I felt like down the stretch with their tackling and their ability to win matchups one-on-one up front and to fill gaps. So I think get that corrected next week, and I think that this team's going to be in a better direction. But I feel better about this team because of what the offense was able to do today, going into next week and further on down the line than it did last week. This offense was bad last week. This week they're taking strides in the right direction defensively. You know what you got to fix. You got to fix that, and hopefully you put it all together next weekend, and you're able to get a much-needed and important divisional win against the Chargers.
There you have it, man. Last but not least, the judge himself, man. What are you going to take from this game? What is there any lessons to be learned, and what do you say about next week, I guess? And then I'll wrap us up and maybe get us out of here.
The big lesson for me is don't settle for 3. You could have put this game away, go down and score a touchdown. You're up, you're up 9 points and you're up 2 scores, and you effectively put this game away. So put it away when you can put it away. Stop with the settling for 3 and these long field goals. That you missed one, they missed one, that they got lucky and got it called back. This should tell you everything you need to know. Stop with that. You've got to have a set of plays that can get you down there and get you in the end zone. So that all around, and special teams is important. I've watched it in 3 games this weekend. I watched Notre Dame lose on special teams. I watched Kenny's Giants lose on special teams, and I watched Denver lose on special teams. It's for people that say it's not important and it doesn't matter. It's important and it matters because I just watched it cost 2 of my teams and Kenny's team a win this week. So, I mean, all 3 phases matter, and if you don't think they do, you're sadly mistaken.
You're right, man. That's why I was giving the finger is not 1, not 2, 3 phases of the game. They're all important, man, and special teams included. I think that was a great way to point it out, whether it be your college football team, sorry, Jody, whether it be your professional football team, sorry, Jody, or Kenny Kirkpatrick's favorite team. Sorry, Kenny. It comes around. It's a big part of the overall game, and it can hurt you. thoughts moving forward for me, man. Like I said, got a lot of film to review. Can't wait to kind of really dive into it, see the positives and the negatives, man, because I think there were some positives, as you guys have pointed out. Much better offensive performance. Seemed like it was a little bit better balance. Like to see J.K. Dobbins going off, even though it wasn't R.J. Harvey. That run game started going. But the defense played just the opposite of what we saw last week, or what we had as far as expectations. So we'll dive into that. That being said, it's still going to stay busy, guys. We're going to have the rest of the games for tonight, and I'm sure Monday night as well. But don't forget, Monday morning, the Morning Juice, me and Kenny are going to be back. We're going to be talking all about the NFL, 7 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. Then we'll be back breaking down this Denver Broncos, Indianapolis Colts game. Me and Jody will be back on Wednesday, 7 p.m., and we'll be able to watch a lot of film, really dive into it, see what this Denver Broncos team is about, and maybe give an idea of what it's going to look like versus the Chargers. And that brings me to me and Trevor. Friday night, 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, we'll be back breaking down the pregame for Broncos versus Chargers. So it's a full slated week, man. Broncos country. I wish we would have walked away with a win. It was so dang close, but I think there's a lot of positives we can take. We're still in the running when it comes to the AFC West, and I can't wait to be talking football with you the rest of the season. That being said, I guess enjoy what's left of the weekend. Please come back and see me and Kenny Kirkpatrick Monday morning. Right around the corner, Kenny. We'll see you soon. That being said, we're going to get out of here the way we always do. Keep those boots in the stirrup, guns in the holsters, and, of course, the Denver Broncos in your heart. Until next time, we're going to get out of here. Thank you, everybody. See Morgan Trinkets, too.